All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of the Combat Lab podcast, brought to you by the Combat Lab. And
What is up?
I'll be your host,
How's it going, everyone?
Shakes, as usual. We got WonderBop and Arikie, the usual guests with us. And
The gang, the
yeah.
boys, we're here,
We're here.
as usual.
Well, it hasn't been, let's say, the most eventful past 2 weeks. There's definitely a bunch of stuff that we need to check in on and discuss.
Sure.
A couple exciting topics for sure.
I do think that, we're not kidding anyone. We're not kidding anyone. This has not been the biggest patch cycle in Icon's history, right? No one thinks it is. But what it has had, kind of under the radar, I think, is a lot of really cool opportunities for the future and cool narratives for the future that we should get into. So I guess starting out, actually, wait. So I feel like I have to confess this real quick, actually. I did not run this by you guys, actually, so I hope you're okay with this small tangent. So I feel like it's worth saying here, in case anyone hasn't heard, I got a new dog yesterday.
A new dog?
A new dog.
Oh, congrats.
She's little. She's very little. Yeah, I know. She's very cute. She's very little.
What breed?
I don't know. It's actually my roommate's dog. I'm gonna be okay. All right, I confess again. It's actually my roommate's dog.
The truth comes out.
But she was a foster, so she had a name before we got the dog. She already had a name. We could not rename her. And her name is Pip.
Pip?
P-I-P Pip. And I feel like that is a cruel twist of fate.
That's a good name.
I can't believe that, because nobody picks on me anymore, right? Like, Pip is dead. Pip has been dead. You don't see Jokomo out here. Handoran.
I just now realized that
who throws out that emote anymore. You don't see people going like, "Oh, Pip over Icon, man." You don't see it anymore until real life has something to say about it. When you get that, like, that karma, that message from the world. I'm just saying. I felt like I had to get that off that chest because I think that's something that the community really wanted to hear.
That is
you can't escape it.
I can't, dude. I can't. And she's so cute.
You
She's
just have to accept it.
She's like 8 years old. She's a really nice dog. We're trying to get my cat to play along to like her, but it's only been a day. It's been a day.
So you'd say you'd like your dog, right? Or your roommate's dog?
I'm not. Okay, guess what? I like my dog, Pip. And that sentence, only in that context.
I mean, I'm hearing that WonderBop does
So you're
enjoy
not willing
like
to
Pip,
say you like.
I'm willing to say that my dog, Pip, my dog, Pip, is great.
One of these days you're gonna slip up.
And
oh
so
my God, that's
would
gonna be
you
bad.
also say your entire experience with Pip and your whole life,
You know what?
your whole
I'm
life,
thinking about it. We have some tournaments to talk about. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry about the tangent, everybody. I guess we're gonna have to start on the Wonder Games. We've had 2 events this past
Wonder
year.
Games 11 and Wonder Games 12.
Wonder Games 11 and the Wonder Games 12. Big, I guess before we talk about like logistical things behind it, let's just talk about these results, shall we?
yeah, of course.
The Wonder Games 11, happy birthday to Cicero, belated birthday. Cicero
Ooh.
took the Wonder Games 11 from winners
On their
without dropping
birthday?
a set on Cicero's birthday. What
Wow, nice.
Wow.
what a hero, right? Great run, very Zurong. It was the Zurong run.
100%.
We had geez, what is it? So it's Mime,
Yep.
Cicero, Light the Lantern, 3 zoos in winners semis. Wanashani, we had in losers side, Wampy, Aaron, Zik, and the other star of this tournament, Cicero's run, super sick. Who's Gengar? Excuse me. Who is
Some of
who
these
is
players, they just
Gengar?
happen to have extremely familiar Gen 1 Pokemon names and come out of nowhere.
So
Look,
so Gengar, and so here's what's crazy. All right, so here's the deal. It's very easy to look at Gengar, and we have another one next tournament, but it's very easy to look at him and say, oh, well, it's probably Ulce's. It's probably Ulce. It's probably, it's Boyko, whatever. It's easy to throw that out, except Gengar sucks. Or he doesn't suck, but like, look at him. No, but I'm being serious. Like,
Yeah, no.
Are we talking about the Pokemon here? Because that would be very divisive.
Okay, no. Gengar the Pokemon.
Gengar the Pokemon is
solid.
sick.
Gengar the Pokemon solid in almost every single
Gengar is one of the most popular Pokemon ever.
That evolution tree, like on average, might be the sickest trio of Pokemon.
That's one of them. It's one of them.
It's
Anyway,
we digress. Look, man.
Look who Gengar lost to in winners. Gengar lost to Aaron, I believe, in winners.
Aaron and then Hwanpee.
Yeah.
Beats Meeks 3-1. So, like, I'm thinking about this. Someone who can beat Meeks 3-1, beat Zik 3-1 as well, I believe. Beats Pochi 2-1, right? 2-1's Escabrera, but loses to Aaron and loses to Hwanpee. Pretty. Shakes, you remember, it was a pretty bad.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Game 1 and 2 were pretty close. Game 3, oh boy.
Yeah. Not one to put on the resume, that game 3.
And the more I think about it, the less, because I've played Gengar. I played just like a game or two with Gengar, and the more I think about it, the less I have an idea of who Gengar could be. Because it doesn't make sense. Because let's be real, if J-Fist Zurong entered bracket, he would have won the tournament with Zurong, right?
Maybe it's not as simple as a Smurf. Maybe it's a totally alternative persona.
Or
like,
it's
like Mr. L is like Luigi, but not really Luigi, you know?
And when he wakes up on the left side of the bed, he is Gengar. That'd be funny if this were like actually.
Look, in the near future, we're gonna have to steal from the anime a little bit and create a new segment called "Who's That Pokemon?" Because
seriously,
like. Okay, what is going on, man?
So moving on from Gengar, should we go into the Wonder Games 12? Because all right, so big winners of this one. WonderBop did okay. He did pretty well. Kind of a meme bracket. Ulce played secondary. To explain to everyone who's looking at this bracket, it's like, wow, WonderBop had a great tournament. Mr. Mime played Zurong. And Ulce played secondaries. Ulce played Zana, Afi, and Galu, and Ashani against me.
Wow.
So, and then the only other player that matters in this tournament, who is Quilava? Who is Quilava?
Also, what a Pokemon choice. Who picks the second evolution as their
Quilava actually won.
Yeah, not only did they win, but that Pokemon was being talked about in the Discord prior to the tournament.
This was like
very,
a day,
very interesting.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
Before the event. Yeah, no. So in general, this is with like 2 days, a day before the event. People are in general and they're talking about like just Pokemon names. And they were like, yo, you know what's a sick Pokemon? Quilava. I'm serious. You could scroll up, and if you went far enough, you would see a whole conversation about how cool Quilava was. And here we are. Quilava wins the tournament. By the way, Quilava did not lose in winners. Quilava DQ'd himself. Quilava had forgot to update before the tournament, and Quilava requested to DQ because he felt bad. He was like, oh, okay, it's going to be like 15, 20 minutes. Go ahead and take the win. I'll go from losers. Quilava won from losers, and it's not just me or secondaries that he beat. He beat Tandori.
What character was he playing?
Afigalu. That's the weirdest part. Like,
oh my
by
God,
far.
that's so great. Like,
who plays Afigalu at a top level, right? Like,
who plays Afigalu? Okay, but
he's trying to throw off all the sleuths, dude.
I'm gonna throw you guys one even better. This Afigalu player is bar none the fastest, most platform-heavy Afigalu I've ever seen. Like, I encourage everyone go to twitch.tv/WonderBop. We have, so I streamed the run yesterday, right? And you can go into grand finals and you can see the first game of the first set of grand finals, and you will see this Afi and Galu flying everywhere around the screen to the point that it's like I'm a Shani and I feel like I'm playing fast to keep up, not to do anything, but just to participate.
And that sounds really, really interesting.
It's not Riddell, it's not Hyla. I've played both of them 100. It's not Vaughn. I've played all, we've all played those players. We've all seen those players. There's no way that this Afi and Galu is one of them. So who is Quilava? I thought it was Japhis, straight up. That was, if you watch that stream, you'll see me saying it's Japhis. This is Japhis. There's no way that it's Japhis. Japhis said, even if I had a Smurf, one, I would never Smurf as Afi and Galu because I don't like Afi and Galu.
I remember him on Twitter. He that's not what he said, but you put it a lot nicer.
Yeah, exactly. He was very impolitely saying that he does not want to play.
I am quite certain after that Twitter exchange that Afi and Galu is not his thing.
And then he says that even if I did, I wouldn't name my Smurf Dragonite or something else. Like this Afi Galu player, the platform movement. Oh my! Like, did you look at that? Like, who does that? Not a single player. Hot. Who? No one does this.
That is super hot.
And it's staggering because you'd think that'd be the first thing that players did after realizing that you could do that. And and you see me upstrike there because I'm like, all right, wait a second. He's side specialing the platform, and he doesn't just do this the whole set. I feel like I should stress now that while I do think there was there was definitely reliance on side special with this player, it was also like, my God, like it was a hard
kind of
set.
Buttery.
And if you watch, I took him to last stock game 5. Barely lost. Like he was at 120 when I died set 1, and after that I was just out. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, and then I got 3-0'd because it was nuts. But it's just one of those things that right now we're in a position in Icons where we have 2 random players. I don't think they're the same player. I really don't think that, because I don't think anyone plays that. I don't. Maybe they are, but I really don't think so.
So what are we going to do about Smurfing as a community in the long run? Are we going to try to prevent Smurfs from entering and disrupting brackets? Because generally if somebody is Smurfing with a brand new name, they're going to be unseated, or they could quite possibly be in the power rankings twice as 2 different people, or
Gengar. In that situation, Gengar was seeded at 5th or 6th, I believe, in that tournament. He actually played just above his seed. And Quilava was seeded 4th, above me, actually, because someone said Quilava was good, and I go into the general and I'm like, well, who's Quilava? Where should I seed Quilava? And Mr. Mime comes into general and says, hey, seed Quilava high. He's been smacking me around for the past few days. I was like, oh, well, I guess Quilava's the 4th seed above me. It was Mime, Olsey, Tandori, Quilava, me.
So
and then he DQ'd out of winners.
When Mime said that, did he specifically say for the past few days?
I remember, I'm gonna be honest. He did say that he had been slapped around by Quilava.
So I guess my question for you guys is, because I started playing this game so long ago, it's hard for me to remember when I directly translated over. How quickly did your movement get to the point that it could be as fluid as what we're seeing here?
Could you rewind that Twitch clip real quick, or this Twitch video, just like 10 seconds, 15 seconds? I want you to look at this. You're gonna see him go from the platform to the ledge, just really quick, and not here. It's like right about now. You're like, that movement there is not something I think someone who plays Afi Galu on the side would do. And I mean, and I'm not trying to say there's no way that this is somebody who
we can't really prove.
Obviously, we can't prove anything. Especially because look at this. I just got triple forward strike. By the way, I just got triple forward strike. Fix your game,
Dude,
Icon.
I'm not gonna.
Did you guys see that? Oh my god.
This is my first time seeing this, and you are not exaggerating. I have not seen an Afigalo come close to this speed.
Like
come
it's
close.
So fast. And before I guess we'll wrap up, because there's a few things to talk about patch wise, I think. But because now that I've lost, Afigalo are broken. But it's one of those things we can't, obviously there's no way to prove that this isn't just like, liberation or whatever, right? Obviously we can't prove that this isn't Hyper Flames all. But all I'm trying to say is that like whoever it is, especially Quilava, but Gengar too in the same vein, this is the first time that we've had these guys who just come in.
Really, we haven't had a surprise quite like this before. We've had surprises before, but not something where like, is that person a
Let's
Smurf?
look at this wall jump back air, guys. This isn't like I'm a very talented melee player coming over and I have good movement. This is I've been playing Afigalo for a while.
Exactly.
No,
I almost wonder if it's like I've heard MacD has a good Afigalo. I don't know.
I've never seen MacD play anything fast.
MacD is good. I'm trying to remember.
No, I know he's good, but
I know I've never seen him play fast. There you go.
Well, like a fast character, like he plays Peach. I plays Peach. But...
Well, I mean, you know what?
Not saying you can't.
All I'm saying is that like this is so exciting to me. I think, and Shakes, you remember during the Wonder Games 11, I was rooting for Gengar that entire damn time because this is so sick. We have like just these dark horses who just came, and now Quilava like runs the place. Because if Mime's switching to Zoo, think about this: if Mime permanently switches to Zoo, I 3-1'd Mime yesterday. Quilava 3-1'd Mime yesterday.
I can definitely see how something like that, especially after a very, very heavy patch for your main, you could flip-flop around in another character, and if you're a strong player, then another character could be your thing suddenly.
All I'm saying is that we have like a real shake in the meta, right? This is like the top 5 right now, guys. At this present moment, like I should be a higher seed potentially than Mime in the next Wonder Games, right? Like I know that's cocky, but like I'm being almost serious in the sense that we have Hylian Liberation, haven't been playing as much. Tandori, like we have like me, Tandori, Mime. When Mime's playing Zoo, not quite as hot. And now we have Quilava and Wompi's like here, but Wompi's also coming back. So it's like, we've seen Sparks, but we've also seen, it's a very wacky time for the Icons like top 10, the top 15. Where like, it's it's a time where just like players are just jumping around in terms of like how we're placing and how we're doing.
I think that people are jumping around just enough where it's interesting, but it's not so crazy that there's no feeling of consistency. Like, we still know who is good and who's more likely to win against certain people. It's not completely crazy pants.
For sure.
Right now, there are a lot of surprises, especially with the last balance patch. Not the current patch, but like the most recent, changes to everybody.
And so to segue off of that, it's been 2 weeks. How do we feel about the last balance patch? And how do we feel about the shield changes? Because that's the only major change. It is a big change. Yeah, just from, granted, that was just yesterday. So obviously, I'm sure, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even notice it in a lot of situations.
It's 2 frames.
2 frames longer to let go of shield.
To put that to kind of a context, like most characters' jabs are between like maybe 3 and 5 frames, around that range.
So drop shield jab becomes 13 frames. If you're with like a frame 3 jab character, so like Zana still has 3 frame, right?
Yeah, the last thing they changed was her side tilt, not her jab. So.
Right, and it's the in between her jabs that got changed, not her actual jab one.
Right.
So So like 13 frames for the fastest out of shield option in the game. 13 frames, except for Kid Shine Out of Shield. Shine Out of Shield is like what? Probably frame 5 or frame 6. Frame 6. That's fast, but it's also nerfed. So,
So
I am generally a fan of the shield nerf, small shield nerf, shield smurf, shield nerf. Because while shield being good, I think is a very good part of icons. I like that you can drop shield and you're not forced out of aerials out of shield or like wave dash out of shield. Mainly because we don't want to see, as we get more and more characters, we don't want to see characters with like really good shield pressure or characters with good spacings on shield. We don't want to see characters with a bad out of shield option just become obsolete instantly because of it, right? Ashani, I genuinely think that Ashani has the worst out of shield options right now. Or up there if she's not the worst, like kind of down there. But even Ashani, like, you know, if it'd be stupid if I complained about that right now, right? Like Ashani, it's still very balanced, despite her not having Zurong's Dare out of shield, despite her not having like Affingalu Bear out of shield, or Kid Shine out of shield, God forbid. I guess actually Wei Shan has the worst shield on. Yeah. It's Wei Shan, and then I think either Ashani or Zana. But Zana, you know, Zana has some stuff. Side tilt's good. So I like the shield changes overall. Obviously, we'll see how it plays out.
What about you, Arikie? How do you feel about it?
I think that some of my peers who are not as into icons as I am, but are kind of like partial icons, have expressed to me that the game seems a little defensive to them. And I think that the shield nerf will help offset that feeling a little bit, where shielding does not, you know, playing around shield and shielding becomes a little bit less the meta. Not like in a bad way, but it is more balanced around other kinds of play than just playing around shield. You know?
I do think that it's not shield. I mean, shield definitely, don't get me wrong, I don't think 10 frame is still really good. Obviously, like I was still dropping shield to like,
and obviously the shield is just a part of the equation that makes defensive play.
I do think on this note of defensive play, I would like to see rolls nerfed a little bit. Rolls are really good. Rolls are so good right now, and it's tough. It makes it, even when you read a roll, you can still, especially when you have such strong 3-frame jabs, you know, Ashani down tilt. Oh my God. Like, yeah, do you know how many situations I just roll down tilt or roll jab and it works just fine? It's tough, and it's hard to cover. I think that maybe a small nerf to rolls would be where, if we're talking about defensive play, I do think that icons I do think in comparison to melee and PM, icons is a defensive game right now. I feel like that comparison is very necessary in the discussion. It's also worth noting that melee and PM are extremely aggressive games.
It's sometimes our view is kind of skewed by what was the norm for a very long time.
Exactly. So like it's important to note that shields suck in Smash Bros. Shields are very, very, I shouldn't say they suck. I should say they are very situational in Smash Bros. In Melee PM compared to Icons or Smash 4. Yeah. And is one better or worse? Well, I mean, that's preference. There is a lot of good things to have with defensive play. Defensive, or having like a better shield. Aerials get to have stupid low lag across the board. Zana Fair can only have low lag because shield stun or just shield release is so fast.
Mm-hmm. Right? Otherwise, it would be ridiculous.
Otherwise, it'd be stupid, right? These strong moves would be extremely broken, I think, or extremely like unsettling if shields were weaker as an option. And that means that, hey, as a Zana player, you can dare and fair in neutral all you want. As an Ashani player, I can fair and dare in neutral all I want. And it doesn't feel bad to whiff. It's not like I whiff and I'm like, ah, crap. You know? it's fun to stomp with Ganon a lot until you realize that whenever you miss, you die instantly.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's one point I want to touch on. When Arikie mentioned that his friends who are less involved with icons than he is had that opinion, I think it's definitely worth noting that with any new fighting game of any kind, doesn't even have to be a platform fighter, as you're learning the game, a lot of stuff is gonna, like, you're gonna have very strong opinions about a lot of things because you don't know the answers to them yet, right? And when you don't have the answer to something, that's when it feels oppressive. So I'm curious, between one, them being experienced, and two, we're all kind of inexperienced with the game. Thanks for the host, though. We should not have audio for that. Sorry about that.
I didn't hear it. Oh wait, I'm not in the.
Yeah.
Continue. I'm dumb.
It's all good. So I'm curious to see kind of down the line how much our opinions of this change and newer players of this change, and how much it needs to be shifted, right? Because 6 months down the line, we might realize, like, oh, there's these setups you can do with certain aerials at certain distances. It basically becomes an option select. That might be a thing. We don't know. So while that's the case, I also think it's very important to take note that the Wave Dash staff is not afraid to make universal changes to the game, where that might be a little more hesitant in some other games, which can be good and bad, right? Any balance change could be good or bad, but I think it's good to know that the options are there to make universal changes, and I'm curious to see how it goes. I honestly haven't played since the patch, so I don't know how it feels, but
as a quick bounce off of your point, also worth noting specifically about defensive play on shields, worth noting that as players are first learning a game, players will always default the defensive options because defensive is safer, more consistent, and guaranteed. And that's true in every game. That is not a icons thing. That is if you are getting good at Smash Bros, playing aggressive, you're probably better at playing, well, I should say upper, like you're past that mid-level, like, you know, you're doing well. It's a lot harder to play aggressively than it is to just dash dance camp, right? Like, we see it all the time in PM and in Melee. We see a lot of dash dance heavy, dash back, shield, you know, safe play, because it's less complicated and it's not as reliant on, you know, your opponent having a strong defense, right?
Right, and you don't need a lab shielding, right? Like you would need to lab shield pressure combos, like that type of stuff. So.
And so I'm not trying to say that Icons isn't defensive. I pretty firmly believe that Icons is like, if there's like a spectrum and Melee is like aggressive,
maximum over turbo,
and PM is like a little less aggressive, I think that, like, you know, Icons is kind of like more aggressive than Smash 4, but still definitely like on the defensive side, which is fine. That's not a Street Fighter is also kind of defensive. Like, defense is not bad. It's just
the defensive play in a game has to be at least interesting.
Right. Yeah, and I think there's a lot to speak about. I mean, this can kind of go off into a whole different tangent, so I'll try to keep it short. But by keeping the game more defensive than the other two titles we're referring to, while there's some just overall character balance issues, especially in Melee, having the game be a little more defensive and a little more, I'd argue, a little more well-rounded in terms of offense and defense, it allows for a much more easily balanced cast, I believe.
I agree.
So when you lean right, so the middle is defense and offense are equally as good as each other, perfectly balanced game, yada yada yada. If you lean more towards the offense, that means any character that excels more defensively is going to be a disadvantage, right? Because the offensive tools are better in the game. Being better at offense would naturally make you a better character. So I think it's worth noting that while some people won't want to hear, like, oh, this game's not as fast as Melee, like, it also will probably be a little more balanced than that. And granted, there's a lot more to it than that.
I'd like to add, on a similar note, like in certain games, even defensively oriented ones, the weaker characters in a big cast will tend towards extremely defensive strategies because their options in general are just so weak that they depend on the central game mechanics, which are strong. So, like, for example, Wii Fit Trainer in Smash 4 is not a very good character. But if you've ever seen an extremely good Wii Fit Trainer player, you would be like, wow, I never ever want to play against that in my entire life. That
Because it looks lame.
that was disgusting. He was on the ledge more than he was on the ground or anywhere else. It just,
You're right.
it sucks.
Yeah.
And we talk about like Fox in Melee is the big, or Sheik in Melee also. These are scrub opinions. These are not. I'm about to throw that out. These are scrub opinions, but Fox invalidates my character. Sheik invalidates 2/3 of the cast.
Even scrub opinions are usually founded in at least something.
Sure. And the reason that, and granted, those matchups are now way more optimized, and crouch canceling, it's a long topic for that specifically. But we look at like the idea of invalidating. Let's be real. If shields were better in Melee, Sheik would be a lot worse. Sheik's pressure, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong here? I feel like the pressure that like Sheik has on a character, and the fact that she can like take that space and lock you down so well in shield is so big. And it means that if you don't have the tools to deal with that specifically, it's very hard to fight Sheik. Granted, crouch canceling kind of changes all of that. I'm not making comments on the balance of Melee. I'm saying that like this was for a long time, that was a very big part of why Sheik was one of the top tier characters. Falco. If you can't power shield Falco's lasers, that's it. Like you have to. We're at the point in the game where you have to power shield, or you're gonna struggle, and that's not
that's
bad.
Tied to a player, not a unique character.
It works for Melee, and this is not saying it's bad, but having universally low landing lag, having universally fast shield dropping, having universally fast jabs and other options off the ground, love it or hate it, it makes it a lot harder to invalidate character. You can't. Even if you think Zana's bad, even if you think Afi and Galu is bad. Afi and Galu was considered the worst character for a long time, but guess what? They could still just drop shield and down tilt you. Like, they can still drop shield and forward strike you.
They can wave dash out of shield down tilt you.
There was exactly like, and that having strong defensive universal tools and universally strong quick actions out of it means that it's a lot harder to make a character, or rather it's a lot harder to make a character unviable. I think, because no matter how bad you are, you can still punish them if they hit your shield.
Basically, as long as you can interact on a couple like different layers, you're not really in the gutter completely. You might not have as many options as the whole cast, but at least if you have at least a playbook that has enough pages in it to like play around at every aspect of the game at least a little bit, you can hold your own even with a weaker character.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
So with that said,
we should probably move on.
Yeah.
You guys were over here like, oh, it'll be a short show. Here we are. Y'all underestimate how long I can talk.
Was there anything we wanted to tackle in this week's patch notes? Anything?
In the most recent
we pretty much talked about the shield thing. Besides that,
was there a lot? I don't even remember.
There was
about last week's.
No, I mean
a couple animations were tweaked, just a little bit.
Okay.
Wait, what happened?
They moved around some things in the UI, so quick match 1v1 is now on the top.
1v1 is above free for oh, nice.
Did you say something was leaked though?
Lots of little stuff.
No, something was tweaked.
Oh,
animation was tweaked.
Tweaked. No.
You're like,
there were no leaks since the last time.
Yeah, don't get me excited.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
But
so let's talk about. Let's real quick, and let's make this quick. Do we have any thoughts about the last patch? Now that we've sat on it, because last patch was giant. We talked for an hour about the last patch.
Yeah. I mean,
do we have any thoughts?
My opinion has not really shifted. Granted, like, I'll be totally transparent here. This has been the least amount of icons I played in a long time the past couple of weeks. I played a good amount. No circuit, less tournaments. I did play a bit after that patch dropped, but also this past week Destiny 2 dropped, so
And Monster Hunter dropped. I know, Arikie, you've been on that Monster Hunter.
I have been playing Monster Hunter every single day since it came out. And not only did I do that when the night it came out, midnight West Coast time, I did a 24-hour Monster Hunter stream.
Yeah, you're a madman.
I've never played a Monster Hunter game before, and I'm completely addicted. But that's okay. I'm addicted by choice.
Yeah, we've all been hooked on something because I believe Wonder here has streamed something new for the first time in a long, long time. The first time
that a non-icon stream for the first time since mid-April, since the NDA dropped.
Yeah.
Really, since around
since your Xenoblade streams, right?
Yeah, I used to play Xenoblade, but now it's it's been months. I did a Hollow Knight stream.
To finish that.
I'm not gonna do it again. I'm gonna be real. I'm probably gonna just go back to just Icons. Icons is just a lot more fun to stream, I think.
Yeah.
But Hollow Knight's sick, and everyone should play it. That said, the Icons I did play. Okay. So as a quick circle back, Wei Shan is still good.
Yep.
Ashani is very good. Zhu Rong is very good.
Yep.
Afi and Galu is very good.
And I want to say before you do, I think Raymer is still excellent.
I'm in that boat as well.
Raymer is still good.
I think that Raymer is not as good
as he was.
I think that Raymer and Raymer's viable. Before anyone says anything, I do think Raymer's viable. I think Raymer is now in a similar position where, well, not similar, I guess, but like where he's in a position where now we're seeing Raymer has to work a lot harder. Harder than other characters even. Forward tilt not killing is, and maybe this is, again, obviously I don't play Raymer. Forward tilt not killing at 80 anymore also means that Raymer has to figure out how to kill people after he's done the damage he needs to do. Forward throw ricochet is still like a solid confirm. It's certain depending on position, depending on DI.
Sometimes it's a confirm, and sometimes it's more of a setup, depending.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I should say it's a setup, rather than a confirm. Things like up strike is still good. Things like down tilt and down strike edge guards are still really good.
Now that you can, in particular, do down strike out of a run, because everyone can down strike out of run now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
His is pretty good.
That is good.
It is.
Makes tech chasing a lot more reliable.
I still think Raymer's very good. I think Nair is still good. Don't understand. Nair's still fun. I just started Nair. I was playing against who was I playing? I was playing against somebody as Raymer, and I was just like, the first stock, I was like trying really hard, but I was losing. I was like, geez, what am I doing wrong? And then I nared at him like 6 times in a row, and I instantly tied it up. And I was like, I have this really long range, 13% solid combo tool at low mid percent. So like this is great.
Yeah, I think Raymer's in a good spot. I don't know if I'd call him Raymer's excellent right now, but I think he's good to very good. I think he's in that spectrum.
I think it's very fair to say that Raymer is on the lower end. I think that's fair. I don't think that Raymer is top 3. I don't think that Raymer. I think that top 4 is even hard for me though. I think that Zana is secretly thriving. Zana, a lot of her problem areas are a lot easier now. Kid is a lot easier for Zana than he was, I think. The Shine nerf, and I didn't even think about this, but the Shine size nerf, as much as it helps Ashani, it also helps Zana a lot against Kid. Because things like jab pressure, things like forward tilt into jab, wave dash out of shield, Shine, Kid has, depending on spacing, Kid has to move a little further, and it can actually be tricky to get certain punishes on Zana. And approaching Zana, it's not as easy to hit her out of her nair with it anymore. Excuse me. Kid is still very good also, I think, but it's worth noting that I think that matchup actually, execution-wise, it's a lot more demanding from Kid now.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Zana never really struggled a lot against Ashani, never really struggled a lot against Wei Shan, I don't think. only character that Zana struggled with then, who she still kind of struggles with a lot, is Zurong, I think. Still a tough matchup, but it's not that bad for our girl in green. Yeah. And then also, real quick, the dash into strike, that mechanic change, Afi and Galu, what a buff. What, I didn't even think about it.
Who called it? Hello.
F strike. I got F strike into dash forward, F strike into dash forward, F strike, and I DI'd out that whole damn time.
I told everybody that change was there, and I said Afi and Galu just got a huge buff, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." It's drastic. Their strikes are great.
I think that was a big buff for them.
Yeah, I super
That's
agree.
honestly like 90% of my thoughts on last week's patch to now. I think Wei Shan and Raymer. Last week I was saying maybe they did Wei Shan a little too rough and he's going to struggle now. I don't think so anymore. I think Wei Shan's still good.
Would you put him in top 4?
I played Wei Shan in bracket until Mr. Mime yesterday, and it wasn't even, not to sound rude to my opponents, but like Wei Shan's strengths are still very there. His combo game is still way better than like it has any right being. Not that I'm calling for more nerfs, but like Wei Shan I think is still very strong, even if he can't rely on neutral special anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just narrowed his focus on gameplay down to more of what it should have been, which was getting her opponent into disadvantage and super capitalizing on that, right? Like that didn't suffer at all from, I mean, it suffered, but I mean, it's still in a really great spot. So like,
can't beat people with neutral special anymore.
Yeah. He's not mindless anymore, which I still think it's that whole patch is just making everyone more honest.
Yeah, I agree. And now all we have is,
I don't think everyone's perfectly honest now, but I mean, I think we're definitely getting there. So okay, any other thoughts on that before we move on?
I will say that like even though we had a really fat patch, there haven't been as many tournaments and there hasn't been as much participation since the fat patch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have yet to fully see like what in the long term this is going to look like.
I agree.
Also worth noting,
like a sample.
The tournaments we have seen though, the Wonder Games 11 was exclusively Zurong.
Yep, and Wampi.
It was Zurong, Wampi, and Meeks. There were 3 Zurongs in the top 5, and 4 Zurongs in the top 8,
including one of them being a like day 1 switch. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like I'm sure Mime had some time on Zurong before, but like realistically speaking, he had not mained Zurong at all before that day. So
right. So and then yesterday we had Mr. Mime who got like 7th or 5th or something. And actually, you know what? I guess yesterday wasn't that bad. We had Afi Galu, we had Olsi secondaries, we had Ashani, we had Raymer, Tandoori. Who did?
Pochi played Kid a bit.
Pochi played Kid.
And then,
so I guess yesterday wasn't nearly as bad, but you know what? Maybe Zoo isn't broken. Maybe just Ashani's
nonsense. Zurong not broken?
All right.
What are you talking about?
What do we got next, boyos?
So, free for all is now an option in the game.
It's been an option.
Well,
but...
right.
Yeah, it's been an option.
Right.
But
we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, there's
what
I mean,
the value of free for all has been in mainly
right. So,
were you gonna start?
Well, real quick, because I know what you're about to say. Just as like a free for all is sick. Doubles is so fun, and if anyone here is watching and has not played doubles, you need to play double. Like, yes, it's like silly doubles where like there's not actually doubles. You have to pretend that you're in doubles. Doubles in Icons is actually so much fun. I enjoy Icons doubles more than I enjoy Smash. Genuinely, I don't like doubles in PM. I'm a singles player. I'm decent at doubles. I've definitely placed, top 5s and top 4s and regionals and doubles. I'm not a big fan. It's fun, but I don't love it. Icons doubles is so fun. Icons doubles is a lot of fun, and I really recommend that everyone try it out.
That's honestly where most of my playtime was when this patch dropped. Was just hopping in with buddies. Super fun. I'm really looking forward to the actual integration of doubles. Because there's still been times that the game has come down to, one guy on our team has 2 stocks, but we can't stock share, or whatever it may be. And then sometimes if one team stomps another, then it's like, okay, well, now we're running off the side. So like that stuff can kind of kill the momentum of the fun that mode provides right now. But I mean, obviously that we're in early access, that's to be expected. So it's totally fine, but it makes me all the more excited for an actual doubles mode to be implemented.
Agreed. And now with that out of the way, Arikie, if you could finish what you were going to say.
Besides that doubles is amazing, and I know some people in particular who've been waiting for doubles to be in icons before they really put any time into it. You guys have been using double, or the free-for-all feature rather, to commentate tournament matches. How has that been going?
So last week, was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
It was last week.
Last week, Wonder Games 11, myself and WonderBop commentated, and our method was get into the lobby of the players, request their information, they bring us in, the immediate game starts, I run off the stage with my character, they do a neutral start, good to go. That way I can share my screen to Wonder here, and it's near seamless in terms of lag, and we've had 0 complaints. Granted, it's a very small data size, so like I can't stress that enough. While their first tournament had 0 complaints,
8 sets or something.
I think a little more, but around that. But the thing to know is that we did top 6, which ended up being a good chunk of time. No lag complaints from any of the players, which is huge, right? Like even if we had 1, that'd be worrisome, right? So far so good. It opens up a lot of opportunities, not only for us in the combat lab, but everyone in the community. Like, don't forget, just because we commentated a tournament doesn't mean no one else has the option to do that stuff and make their own content. So please, it's a really good opportunity. Jump on it.
I will say it right now. If anybody is interested in commentating the Wonder Games, hit me up. Like, I'm serious, like dead serious. Like, I'd love to work something out with you. I'd love to, I'm sure Shakes, the Combat Lab would love to work something out. This is a really cool feature. And even if it's, and not just commentary for like, spectators, but like replay analysis, just like an analysis stream, not a replay, an analysis stream, things like, you can coach. You could coach, right? You could have people in a game and actually do some kind of coaching with this, because you can have one player just kind of sit out and watch. There's a lot of really cool opportunities with free-for-all commentary. And yes, we're hoping for something better a little bit along the line, right? Obviously, spectator mode. I'm hoping
for replays.
Obviously, spectator mode. We all want those things. But for now, this is a really cool thing that we can start doing. And I know that the Combat Lab is we're looking into things.
There's some ideas being kicked around, and some things that people know about already, in case you haven't seen in the Discord.
Well,
next week, right? That's next week, the 12th of September. I know that for sure.
12th. That is a week from yesterday. It will be on Wednesday.
Yep. On this channel, we will have Mods versus Staff crew battle, the first ever commentated crew battle in Icons.
Yes.
And hopefully the first of many, right?
Absolutely.
And I will say too, so today was actually the first time I looked and saw what the lineups were for both teams. At first I was like, staff versus mods. I was like, that might be a little lopsided. And then the more I looked at it, that's actually going to be a very, very good match.
Yo, Strong Bad on the dev side is slept on right now. Everyone's talking about Wampy. Okay. Everyone's talking about Hylian. Yeah, Hylian's good. Strong Bad's good, guys.
Strong Bad is very good.
Listen, I've had the pleasure of
the
playing
guy in charge
in real life in a lot of matches.
The guy who balances icons, he's not bad at icon. Neither is Reno, and neither is Jason.
Yeah,
they're all good. And I honestly think that it's preemptive. If you're on Team Mod, I'm not saying mods. I'm not trying to say like, oh, dev's got this, but I am saying that it's a lot closer than, oh, well, Wampy and Hylian are on Team Mod. They win. And then that's not true.
Yeah.
Because if Reno has a good game against Hylian, if Jason takes 2 stocks from Wampy, like that's a big deal. Team Mod, I believe, also has
Metaphist.
Who is it? Metaphist and who?
Wayshawn, Pixel, and Ruby.
Wait, okay, so Pixel is basically a buy for team staff. They get that 1 for free, so they're already starting there. I glanced to the side. I saw Pixel. I don't even know what Pixel said in chat. I just glanced. I saw his name, and I was like, "Yeah."
A Pixel could do some stuff.
Who else is on team staff? It's Llama. I know. Clockwork is good.
Yeah, I think
Is Gizmo on that team?
I would imagine. I actually can't pull it up right now, so
hold on. I'll look. I want it.
But that'll be a really, really fun set to watch.
Gizmo's on it,
dude. Apparently,
it is Gizmo.
It's Jason, Adam, Wes, Reno, and Clockwork.
And Wes, I believe, is Gizmo.
Yep. Correct.
So, okay, Gizmo. Okay, actually, team staff is looking good. I'm gonna be real.
That's what I'm saying.
No flack to anyone on team because Wave Paradigm's not bad. Metaphys is pretty good. Hylian, Wampy, obviously amazing. Pixel's pretty good as well. All strong players. I can honestly say I've lost to every single player on Team Wave Dash. My record, I'd go as far to say is my personal record against Team Wave Dash is actually worse than my personal record against Team Mod. I say Clockwork, excuse me, Clockwood. Sorry, I'm too used to that word.
Yeah, Clockwood, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. And honestly, a lot of it comes down to lineup order, like who goes in when. There's a lot of strategy that goes into this. I don't know, like to anyone who hasn't seen a crew battle before, basically everyone has a certain number of stocks and they will choose to go in a certain order. Is it predetermined, the order? It probably is not, right?
We'll have to find out.
I doubt it. If it's like a crew battle, then they should
traditionally it's not predetermined. So when one character gets knocked out, the previous character has however many stocks remaining. Okay, so it's not predetermined. So at that point, you can kind of swap in as you go. The
counterpick game is real.
Yeah.
The counterpick game is real. It's going to be hype. I think it'll be a good event. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, I'm excited. So be here next Wednesday, September 12th. Myself and WonderBop will be commentating. It's going to be a blast. I'm super excited. And this is just the beginning, man. Like Wonder said, we're kicking around ideas. I really hope the community starts jumping on this opportunity because a lot of doors have been opened.
Absolutely.
Lot of doors.
There's a lot of stuff to do. If you want to be involved, there's no shortage of things to do.
Yeah. Jump on that, please.
All right.
Yeah, with that said,
do we have anything else?
The last pressing topic on everyone's mind is a certain...
Is this one really that important? Does anyone really
I guess we could let this topic just float on by.
Something is coming.
It's blowing in the wind.
Flotina's on the horizon, right? We got literally less than 4 weeks. 3 weeks and 6 days we're at is the maximum amount of time that we've been told via Jason in one interview. So, I mean, the reality is it could be delayed.
A comment in a separate podcast from one member of the staff. It was an
interview on another live stream.
Did confirm that it's
I confirm it's not the word.
Place your bet right now. I want to hear from you two. Do you think Flotina is going to come out 2 weeks from yesterday? Or 4 weeks from yesterday? Will it be 28 days or 14?
All right, so I'm very confident in my answer, but it's not in the way that you might think. I think the plan when Jason said this in the interview was for 2 weeks from now for Flotina to come out. And barring any interruptions or roadblocks along the way, I think that yes, Flotina will be out in 2 weeks from yesterday. I mean, the reality of game development is stuff can get delayed,
Sure.
and it could be 4 weeks out. But I don't see a world that Jason comes out in an interview and says it's going to be in this time or less, or you can be mad at me, and not giving them a buffer, right? Like,
that's true.
There had to be a buffer, and
That's extremely true. Actually, would he have given himself a deadline that like they were in danger of not hitting?
yeah,
Well, when you said specifically, I remember is 6 weeks or less, which is generally kind of a like ambiguous.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
buffer.
a sooner rather than later, but I'm giving myself that wiggle room just in case. That's a very good take on it, I think.
Yeah,
I'm gonna still predict 4 weeks. Okay, take that.
I mean, it's possible. I hope not. I'm excited.
I agree.
If anyone knows me,
I think it'll be 4 weeks.
Interesting.
I'm gonna guess 4 weeks, just so I'm not disappointed if it isn't in 2 weeks. But also, I don't know, guys. I'm skeptical.
And here's my fallback and backup plan. If we don't hear any hints by, let's say, Thursday morning next week, if there's nothing that has been put out, no Twitter images, nothing in the Discord, nothing like that, hinting at the character, then there's no way it's coming out the week after.
I
right?
agree. We are getting the announcement next week, or it's happening in 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, we're definitely gonna find out like at least 4 or 5 days in advance.
A week from now,
Flotina's coming.
Yeah, a week from now, we will know when Flotina is coming out.
Ooh, Handoran. Flotina announcement next week at the crew battle.
Well, that changes everything.
That'd be a week in between. That would be you know what?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is there has been an Icons content announcement on this channel before, and let me be very clear. I'm not hinting at anything. No one has talked to me about anything. I don't want to give any vibes of like, oh, you definitely watch because announcement. No, like, I know nothing. But
definitely watch.
It's not out of the rules of possibility.
Is it possible? Is there a chance?
Are you saying there's a chance?
I can't wait for the Reddit post tomorrow. Confirmed next week.
Oh my god!
It sounds like you're writing the Reddit post yourself.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm making an alt right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I daydreamt a little bit today of having remember in the last direct when K. Rool was announced and you had like the background like right at the end. I was like, what if they just give us like a little file of like a witch laughing and we get to like play that at the end? That'd be really cool, right? Something like that. So I don't know. Wave that, or wave Saf if you wanna.
Yo,
I mean, the door's always open, right? Like, we're not ever gonna turn that down.
Big. Okay, and this is the last Handoran. I'm gonna bring you up in chat again because this is fire. You're giving some fire takes, dude. In the crew battle, they start out normal characters, and then the wave stats switch to float. They counterpick into Flotina, and nobody on Team Mod knows what to do about it. And they lose because they don't know any of the math.
That is a little bit unfair.
That would be so sick.
That would be extremely hype, but also if I was Team Mod, I would be a little salty.
That would be the coolest thing in the world. Okay. Pixel knows the Flotina matchup, but
then Pixel's going to be critical in the in the crew battle if that happens.
Yeah, Pixel. So like, what are you gonna do next week then? You want to let us know in the chat like how you're gonna play around that or anything when you guys play each other, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I was like, Pixel's just gonna like he should hop on. We should invite him on. He can commentate while he plays. He's gonna be like, geez, you know, this side strike is just it's broken. Oh my god. He'll just balance line about Flotina before she comes out.
Yeah, but for real, like, I'm still so excited for Flotina. I hope her skins are good. I don't know why that's so important to me. I love iconic tier skins. And there's a couple characters that I was a little let down by on some of them.
Oh yeah.
And no, I'm in this
kids,
dilemma.
Let's be honest. Kids.
No, exactly. Like, I use Space Patrol, but I don't really love it.
It's not as good as the other iconics, I think.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
But if you know me at all, purple is by far my favorite color. If it's purple, I want it generally. So that's why I'm at a little bit of a dilemma, knowing that the default Flotina is going to be a lot of purple. Like, what do I do? I don't like being a default skin player. That's not me. I want to be different. But hey, we will see.
All right. Is there anything else we got to go over?
That might be it. I think we're good.
We're good.
So,
yeah. I will say that look out for Genesis though, because I'm gonna be there. Even though it's a long ways away, I just want to mention it. Genesis.
My hotel's booked.
Catch me at Genesis. I can't say I'm confirmed, but I'm like in the process of getting confirmed. I'm very close to the end, and I would find out in the next week.
And one more thing. I mention this every time, but there is a weekly in Esports Arena in Oakland, and they do icons and Rivals of Ether there. So if you are around the Bay Area and you like icons or any other Smash stuff, on Thursdays, Esports Arena, check it out.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that's all I got.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
With that said, next Wednesday, catch us at, what is it? I don't even know what time it is. I think it's 8 Eastern. Double check for the time of the announcement, but it's definitely next Wednesday on this channel.
For the crew battle.
For the crew battle, mine versus staff.
Here, wait, I can
8 o'clock Eastern. That's like 5 o'clock Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 8 Eastern, good deal.
So check us out for that, and then hopefully the week after you'll be seeing episode 6 with us talking about Flotina. We'll see. Yeah.
All right.
With that said, thank you guys all for tuning in. I know I saw a couple resubs in there, at least Handoran and Pochi, and if there was some other ones, sorry for missing you.
Just the Nib. Shout out Just the Nib. Threw
awesome.
in a sub.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting us, and yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see you in a week.
Have a good week.
Good night, everybody.